Today on Tanisha's Beauty Supply YouTube channel, I'm going to talk to you about diligence in your beauty supply business, because it is going to take hard diligence day in and day out to build your store, to build your business, to build your brand. It's going to take extreme diligence. My goal, what I share with you, is always to get to the point where your business runs itself, and you can do that. I've been able to do that, but to get to that point is going to take some diligence. You know how when you want to lose weight and you end up maybe joining a gym or joining some kind of workout class, and you think, okay, I'm going to exercise a little bit and shed some pounds, and you realize that you're not shedding anything until you're sweating and feeling like you're half dead. That's the only way you're going to shed those pounds. Building your beauty supply store and your brand is the exact same way. Consistent days and times. Your store has got to be open consistently. You can't have your store open, hit and miss. You're open today, you're closed tomorrow. Today you're open from 12 to 5. Yesterday you were open from 11 to 8. Consistent hours. You have to have consistent hours in your beauty supply store, because your customer has to know when you're open. And you'll be able to use Google Maps for your posting your store. And when you use Google Maps, the times are on there. So sometimes customers will come to your store based off Google Maps, and if you're closed, that is really going to make them angry. So you definitely want to have consistent times in your beauty supply store. Customers don't want excuses. They don't want to hear that your sister was sick or anything like that. So that means you've got to be diligent in finding people who can help you. If you've got family, you are winning. If you got family who is willing to help you build this business, you're winning. If you don't have family, you may have to continue to work a job so that you can pay somebody to be there. That's just how it is. I had to do it. I didn't have family that could work for me while I was building my business. I had to use my job at the time that I had to, come out of my pocket and pay somebody $10 an hour or whatever minimum wage was, just to keep the doors open. And it was rough. It was hard. But that's the diligence that you have to have. Your store has to be open. You can't be vacationing while you're building your beauty supply store. Unless you're already rich and wealthy, you can't be vacationing. You've got to be in that store 16 hours a day, building it up so that it gets to the point where you can vacation. But until you get to that point, it took me 1.5 years to get to that point where where my store could fully function on its own. But you can't be out vacationing while you're building your store. Sleeping late. You got to get up. I was up at 7:30, even after I had quit my job. I was up at 7:30 a.m. Running my little errands I had to run before my store opened, like getting change from the bank that I needed to get, going by Walmart, getting some of the stuff that I couldn't get or that I was low on, because Walmart's prices are so cheap sometimes that you can still make a little bit of money off of what you sell in your store. So I had did my little errands, my personal errands. If I needed gas or whatever, I had to do that early in the morning. So you will have to get up. Your customer service, you've got to be diligent about your customer service. You can't, have good customer service today and crappy customer service tomorrow. It's got to be diligent. Partying at night. If you know you have to open your store the next day, it's not a good idea to drink a fifth of Hennessy and you got to open your store the next day. I personally know some business owners that they're younger and they party a lot. And, in the building that I'm in, a lot of times their businesses don't open the next day, or they open at noon, because they're drunk and they're partying. So you got to be diligent about knowing when to party, when to drink, because if you got to get up and open your store the next day, it's not a good time to party. If you're enjoying this information, if it's helpful to you, please subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who may be going into business or a beauty supply business and can use this information. Just to tell you a little, diligence in carrying your product. If you're going to carry a product, you've got to be diligent in it. Even if you run out, you've got to be willing to head down the street to B&J's beauty supply and pick up 3 or 4 of them just to have them until you can restock from your vendor, because customers will stop coming to you if you don't have the product. So you got to be diligent in your product, even if it means, and I've had to do that, I still have to do that sometimes. If I'm low on something and it's going to be, a little minute before my next order, I will go to Walmart. I'll pick up VO5 shampoo because it's only 88 cents. I can sell it for $1.49. I'll go to the local beauty supply stores down the street. I'll pick up a can of oil sheen that I carry if I'm out, 3 or 4 cans just to get me through. So you got to be diligent in the name of products that you carry. And just some of my experience with my diligence is, like I told you before, I had to come out of my pocket a long time paying people from my check that I got from work, my personal job. I had to come out of my pocket to pay people to work. I had to have the doors open. I had to buy product at retail sometimes just to have it. The customers don't know that I bought it at retail because I would put my... Sorry about that. My son called in the middle of my video. But like I was saying, I've had to buy product at retail many days, and I still do sometimes. As I'm learning different vendors and breaking into different vendors, sometimes I do have to buy it at retail. It's getting a lot better, but that's just the diligence that I have to have so that my customers know that I'm going to have what they need in my store. Being diligent on Instagram and Facebook and social media, those are free advertising networks for you. So you want to be diligent about that. At least you really should be posting on social media almost daily, but at the very least 2 to 3 times a week. So you want to be diligent about that. I've been diligent about posters and flyers and postcards and passing those out really to my customers that come into the store, because having a visual in front of them really helps. I use Vistaprint and I'm able to create my own postcards and they come out just beautiful. Creating posters and postcards. I'll even go outside on the busy street and stand at the curve and hold up a sign that I've created, like a what do you call those, plyboard, not plyboard, but I know what I'm thinking about, but those signs that are sturdy. There are many a days that I'll go out there and I'll hold the sign for 10 minutes at a time. It can't hurt, so there's busy traffic going down the street. They can see Tanisha's Beauty Supplies right here. So I've been very diligent about that. So my research, I've been diligent about researching. I'm constantly listening to YouTube. I'm constantly Googling. I'm constantly going to different places, sometimes even different states, to find vendors. So if you're diligent about all of these things, you're going to win. You are going to win. And I just want to encourage you to continue on your beauty supply store endeavor. It is a lot of money to be made. That's why you see an Asian Korean beauty or Asian beauty supply store in every hood in the nation, because there's a lot of money to be made. So I encourage you, please subscribe to the channel. I'll continue to bring you more information about being a beauty supply store owner. I'm excited about how many are joining into the industry. And please like the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.